Hello everyone and welcome back to War Thunder. Today we're flying the Yak 9P as part of the My Favourite Plane series. And this, I did record audio for this at the time, but the video was like 20 minutes long and I did a lot of rambling in the video, and I just sort of didn't like the audio I used for it, so I've sort of cut the video down a bit to around 12 minutes maybe, as well as just doing redoing audio, because I didn't really like what I was talking about in the subject of it. I just it wasn't going to be a good video, and I thought, well, I don't want it to be 20 minutes long. So as I normally do when I do a post-recording, I tend to just pick out the best bits of the video and show that. So we're going to start off talking a bit about the Yak 9P and why I like it. Now I can't say that I use it all the time. Like, I pretty rarely do use it. But I do like it a lot because it's got at least on my setup that I use, I've got two 20mm in the nose as well as the 137, and that is very, very similar to the MiG-15, except obviously the MiG has two 23s, but at the same time it's very similar with the way that the 20mm fire differently from the 37, and I don't even think the 37 is the same gun as what the MiG uses, but it's just a very similar gun layout, and I do enjoy it a lot. It just works right, and I just really enjoy how the guns work, and the damage they do especially is good. I think I was using Universal on 20s and the air targets for the cannon, the main cannon, and that just worked great all the time. But then flight characteristics of the plane, compared to other Yaks, it does have WEP, which I enjoy because I like to use that, because it just feels like you're going faster, even though you're probably not. It just kind of gives you a feeling that you are going faster. I mean, obviously you do go a little bit, but it's only by a few kilometres and it's nothing special really. But I just like to use it, especially when I'm climbing, because it sort of gives me something to do whilst climbing, like hold down shift or whatever. But for the sort of roll and everything, it's very sort of Yak. It turns quite well. It's not as good as the earlier Yaks, like the Yak 3 and the Yak 9T, but I think it is a heavier plane, as it definitely has a heavier nose. So it doesn't turn quite as well, but it still does turn well enough to which you can use it as a turn fighter. And the climb rate isn't bad either. It could be better, it could be worse, but it's good enough. I don't really think the Yaks were used so much as high altitude fighters as they were for more low level, especially the Yak 9s. I'd probably assume they were used more for ground attack, being they've got huge guns in the nose. I can't really imagine either that or sort of going for low altitude bombers. But I really can't imagine this as like a high altitude fighter like the P-51 or some of the later Mark Spitfires. I imagine it more as a sort of low altitude fighter / ground attack sort of plane, just because of the armament on it. But this Focke-Wulf here, I decided to go for this Focke-Wulf A4. That's like a tier 3, but I did get him in one shot like that, and I was quite happy with that because it was kind of a weird angle. But then I went head on with this 109G, no, K4 I think it is, and I think I must have taken a 30 straight to the engine, because my engine was just fucked straight away after that. I do try and go for him, and I think I do get a couple of hits, but I think it was only 20s because I didn't get a kill on him. I got an assist though. I'm taking pot shots at him, but I think that must have hit him there because he started smoking, and that wouldn't have happened if I hadn't hit him at all. There we got a hit then as well, registered hit. Just taking pot shots at him because I think at this point I thought I was going to die. then I ran out of 37s there, so I was like, I'll go back to base. Mainly because my engine was overheating a lot. I had an oil leak, and it was like red already straight away as soon as I got hit on the little display thing at the bottom. And there's kill assist for him. And I was on, I think in the video I originally said, can I go to these airfields, but you can't because it's not Krimsk, it's Kursk, whatever it's called. So the water temp's cooling down a little bit with turning the throttle down a bit, but the oil is just done because obviously there isn't much left probably at this point. But yeah, so I do manage to get back to base. Sort of just lower the throttle a bit just to try and cool it down enough. The worst thing about when your engine gets hit is like sometimes you have to just go like across half the map trying to climb up at like half throttle because you know if you just go full throttle your engine's going to die so quickly. This guy decided he wanted to go for me, which is kind of annoying because obviously I can't really use my power of the engine. Moving forward a bit now, it's just when my engine completely dies. And I just sort of glide back to base, and I think like I had a good bit of speed. I was going 400 there from sort of shallow dive, but this does dump speed very fast. Like I'm already down to like 350 there. So when you look at it, I'm still a fair bit from the airfield really. This is about 300 now, I think, on kilometers. So at this point I was a bit sort of thinking, am I actually going to make it or not? But I think the main thing is because I'm used to flying jets so much now that I kind of don't take into consideration that prop aircraft can fly at sort of 150 kilometers to 200 kilometers an hour without stalling and falling out the sky. I sort of forget that, but my prop completely stopped spinning there. I'm trying to keep my speed up a bit just because it helps. I can't put flaps down either to help me glide because the right one is a bit messed up, so it sort of would just instantly fall out of the sky if I tried to do that, but slowly getting there. Right, it dumped speed a lot from 400 to 300 to 250-ish, but after that it sort of very gradually slowed down and just sort of was gliding then. Then obviously I was still quite high here, and I'm going quite fast for a landing, which is the worst thing about trying to land with a dead engine as well as landing gear. Like if you try and belly land it's fine because you can sort of slow down all the way, but if you're doing gear and everything it's really hard to do because obviously you can't just, if you're going too fast you can't just power up and take off again. You have to sort of just hope for the best. I suppose one of the easiest things to do could possibly just jam the nose into the floor, but a lot of the time it's just going to flip you over and probably just not let you repair, which is an annoying thing. To be honest, we landed okay. Repair's quite short because the crew's alright. It was 8 seconds, I think I was. So then we take off now. Exciting. I was quite surprised where the engine did die. I was quite surprised I did make it back to the airfield, and I was quite happy with that because it meant that I could land fine. Like I was going a bit fast into the landing, but obviously I'm sure most people do understand that when you have got a dead engine it's a lot harder to land than when you have a working one. Mainly because of just entry speed into landing. Obviously you can't slow down early because you can't then build the speed back up if you need to, and even a lot of the time with the working engine, if you end up going too slow on takeoff or landing even, you can't actually get enough speed up a lot of the time anyway when it comes to it, especially when landing something like the MiG. When you have slight damage to the wing on that, you have a lot of trouble trying to land it, because you'll just come into land at like a decent speed, about 300, 250 kilometers an hour, and then just as you start to land, it would just drop out of the sky, and it's so irritating. But this Wolf was the last guy. I took some pot shots at him, tried to steal the kill. I got hit too late though, annoyingly. So that was the last guy in that. So yeah, that's the Ep.17. Next video will be the MiG-15 bis. Applying to that guy. A lot of that, because I was talking a lot about him in the other recording, and I didn't really want to include that, because basically he's just a dick. But yeah, so that was the Ep.9P. Look at the rewards here, see what we got. I don't think it was too special because I only got 1 kill and assist. Yeah, about 40,000 lines. 5,000 vehicle research, which isn't bad really, but I think at the time I thought it was a tier 3 plane, so I thought, oh yeah, I'd research more if I was using a higher tier plane, but I forgot that it was tier 4. But yeah, so if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to click like, subscribe down below for more War Thunder, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.